fish moving just at that right pace. I know he's moved off it. He's not coming, he's not going to have it. Oh, there we go. That I saw that fish take, so oof, oof. No. Alright, so my name's Tim, I'm a fly angler based here in London, and today we're going to do something that I do quite a bit of, which is fly fishing here in London, very much going off sort of the beaten track, basically going where most fly anglers don't go. So we're starting off on the docks for some carp. The reason I do this fishing is I like to fish as much as I can, and if I was just doing sort of mainstream fishing, which I do a lot of, because I get, I do a bit of competition fishing now. If it was just about grayling or trout, then I wouldn't get out as much as I do now. So that's the reason I like to do this local stuff. And you very much have to have sort of a pioneering frame of mind. Not saying that I'm the first person with a fly rod on some of these venues, but very much it's the kind of place where most fly anglers don't venture. So yeah, hopefully we'll have a few fish, and it might inspire a few people to get out in similar cities to explore what's local to them.
This train is for Bank. The next stop is Heron Quays. Change for London Underground Jubilee Line. When leaving the train, please remember to take all your belongings with you.
I mean, think how many fly anglers must live within a 2-mile radius of this place, and would never think to give it a go. So, and there are so many surprises, loads of surprises you'll find. Like I've caught bass from the docks. I've caught mullets in London. A lot of different cool species. Your mainstream stuff. And we can see some carp moving on the surface, so we're going to get set up here. Right, so I prefer to get set up a bit further away from the water rather than by the water, and the reason for that is that I don't want to miss an opportunity. I want to get straight down there and be ready. I've had a couple of sessions here where I've had one chance and that's it, and I'd rather not go down there and see that chance and not be set up. So yeah. We need, for this venue, an extendable lure style net handle. So this one goes to 5 meters because we're off the edge of a dock. In terms of a rod here, I'm going to go with my ever faithful Helios 2 Orvis 9'9" weight. You can go lower, but we've got carp here that are sort of mid doubles up to sort of mid 20s, and the issue then becomes if you've got a lighter rod, especially where we're fishing quite high up, is getting leverage when it comes to netting them. There aren't many snags here, but fish safety as well, you don't want to be playing these things for too long. So the biggest carp I've had here is probably about 20 or probably about 18, and they're really lovely fish. I mean, if you're a carp angler, you know that the gold standard is a nice dark scaly fish, and that's exactly what we have here. In addition to like ex-pond pets, so there are a couple of koi as well. The setup is pretty simple. We've just got we've got a 7-weight floating line on a 9-weight rod, so it's underlined. That does help a little bit because where we're a lot higher up off the water, we have to aerialize a bit more line than we think. Plus, a 9-weight line is going to have a bit too much of a splashdown as well and spook fish, so that's why it's underlined. And quite a few of the casts we're going to have to make anyway here are a bit sort of clumsy, improvised type type deals. So
but it's all going to be sight fishing, is it?
it's all sight fishing with carp. You never fish for them blind. That's just the general consensus of carp on the fly. Carp, you know, the population density of carp's never high in any venue, so you're kind of urinating in the wind a bit if you're not if you don't know that they're there. All right, and of course, I never leave home without item polarizing lenses, but because I'm blind, these are prescription glasses. For this particular dock, we just got fulling mill, world-class fluorocarbon 8 pound. I go more off the diameter, so 0.25. There are no snags here. This is very strong. You could go lighter, but one advantage of having slightly thicker line, well, I know this is fluorocarbon, is that it slows the sink rate. And here, you want to get that? I don't know if they're actually spawning. Yeah, I think they might be spawning, so we'll have to keep away. All right, so it looks like we got spawning fish here, so we'll have to find some groups away from them. So fly-wise, I like to use anything that's white. So we've just got a single bread fly. So this is an unweighted fly. I need it to track through the water column very slowly. It's tied on a fulling mill, I think Bonio hook. So curve point, you know, reason thick gauge, because obviously we're catching pretty big fish. Well, in terms of fly fishing in fresh waters in the UK. But it is also matching the hatch, because they do get a lot of bread here, so from bird feeders, etc. So yeah. And a little thing that I saw in a past fulling mill video, still water fishing with Howard Croston, is, you know, I really liked how he mounted his net like that, or similar. And this is exactly how I do it now, because it has a couple of purposes for a venue like this. It's firstly acts as a line tray, and secondly I could just walk around like this, be very mobile, rather than having to put the net down and pick it up again and just lose time, because time is of the essence with this kind of fishing. We're going to be moving around a lot just for that one chance, so the more time you save. But saying that, I've slowed myself down a bit with this coffee, so tell me when I'm ready to go. Right. All right, first things first, I need to lose the water in the fly, get it to sink, so we're ready to go. Right, the water clarity is good, but it's not so good for seeing the fish just yet. So the name of the game with this is just to walk along and find the fish moving. And there is a kind of ideal speed with which, well, there's an ideal sort of speed that they'll be moving at, really, as far as getting a good presentation and getting a take. If they're moving too slowly, you have to sort of literally plop it onto them, and they don't like it like that very often, although they will take sometimes. Ideally, you want to find them moving at this speed, which is quick enough that you can sort of get the fly in their path, so the fly almost just appears as if it's there rather than something that's just been smashed onto them. But sometimes when they're moving too quickly, they're just going from one place to another. So it's very much about triangulation of here, you know. You have to estimate the time it takes for your fly to sink. Right, what we might do actually is skip this bit, because the light is pretty bad over on this side. So we're just going to take a walk around. And like I said, what separates this from, you know, shallow venue is that we're really fishing for them in the upper 4 feet max. Whereas in a lot of other places you can actually sort of fish for them, you know, very, very shallow water, and even catch them off the bottom. So get their attention, you know, with the fly in front of them, and they'll move and hoover it off the bottom. But we don't have that here. We have to catch them in the upper window. Right, we've got some. It's really important for me to note that there are spawning fish here, so we're going to avoid those at all costs. So if I just talk about sort of my method, so to speak, for finding places like this, you know, if you're interested in this kind of thing, just have a look at the nearest kind of waters that there are to you. So if you live in this part of London, it's going to be docks. There are quite a few docks and canals. So then it's a case of identifying what species you have. So here obviously it's carp are going to be the main thing that's viable. When you do go to these venues, another thing you have to be aware of, particularly with fly fishing, is water clarity, and that's a big factor. So as long as the venue has clear water, fuck. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. Right, this fish, just a weird change of direction. Come on. Right, we just saw a fish. It was moving a bit too quickly though. But that's how ready you need to be here. There were 2 fish. We got a decent shot at one, reasonable shot at one of them, not a sort of A-level shot that we need, but yeah, so let's just say if you want to catch carp on the fly in London, first thing you need is somewhere that has relatively clear water, because it's all sight fishing. We're never doing this blind. Second thing is you need to have a back cast space, or you need, well, even if you don't, or instead of back cast space, you need populations of fish that perhaps come close in, or close enough for you to present a fly. And maybe the venue is too, has too much tree cover behind it. Maybe the fish spend a bit too much time further out. In some venues you won't always be able to spot fish for various different reasons. So there are loads of factors that need to sort of converge in order for somewhere to be viable for carp on the fly. So once you've identified a few venues, you just have to go out and scout them, whether that's with a rod or just a quick walk in a park or something like that, wherever the venues may be. Right, one thing to note about carp on the fly is that, you know, especially if you're in somewhere like London, you have to go with high hopes and low expectations. And the reason for that is, you know, carp, for those of you watching this video outside of the UK, they're the most popular species in England to fish for. Not with fly, but bait tactics. So they tend to be very pressured, so they're not always easy. And that's another thing to note as well when you go to select a venue, or you go to scout places for carp. Let's just say, for example, you wanted to catch carp on the fly here in London. You have to take into account angling pressure and how that will affect your own fishing as a fly angler. Fuck. Once again, the coffee holding me back. Oh, down there. Down here, right down underneath our feet. Right down here. Shit, there's a fish right down there. Right down in the edge there. Just gonna get the oh, fuck me. We got the ghost carp down here too. I'd love to catch this fish. With carp, you tend to actually get, if you spend long enough somewhere, you get to know all the different characters. And there's a fish down there that I dearly love to catch. There you go, can you see the koi? Can you see the koi? See him? Yeah, so I'm basically with this, the carp are in the surface layers, the mid-water, and they're going to take here mid-water, not off the bottom. So unlike the sort of drag and drop that there you go, there's a fish. You see him moving down there? Wasn't quite in his path. I'm probably going to have to think about getting... Oh fuck, that was close. I just had a fish come and look at the fly and just struck a bit too quick. Well, this is another thing about carp on the fly. When you're in coloured water, you can't always spot the take. You know, especially when they go down. So he came up to have a look at it, but I don't know if he mouthed it or what. And I've just, shit. Oh, fuck. Come on. Oh, did you see that? Did you see how close he was to the fly? But they're very cagey. I mean, it's one of those things where really I need to act, this is where I need to start thinking outside of the box, because I know they're getting caught on bread so much here. But this is normally, you know, there you go, you see him? I tend to find the koi are the ones that are really wary. I've caught big bream from here as well, so you never know, they might be up for it if we see them. All right, let's go. And they are the gold standard. Like if you catch a bream, that's worth 2 carp. Because they're actually much harder to catch than carp. I mean, one alternative is just to hang a fly. Like I don't, you know, under an indicator, but for me, I prefer this kind of active stuff. One thing about carp that I've learned from, well, one YouTuber, is that they can be very spooky fish, but if you kind of announce that you're there, not in a way that you're being really blatant, and you sort of become part of the background, as it were, they can tolerate quite a bit. So you can literally just stand above them, but you just have to do it in a way that you sneak up on them and then just become very much, yeah, part of the background. But here you can get away with quite a bit because they see people all the time. When you first step onto a place like this, if you haven't done any carp on the fly, there are a number of cues that will tell you where fish are. The first is the obvious one, and that is the fish themselves, spotting the fish. Carp do often splash out a lot. They'll jump to free themselves of parasites. They will also sometimes poke their head out of the water and sort of go back down again, sometimes to particularly when they're feeding, and that's to, oh fuck, not good. He had a look. So sometimes what they'll do is, backwash the gills. Other surefire signs are fizzing. So when they trough in silty venules, they'll release a lot of the gases that have been trapped under the silt. Sometimes you'll also get like a mushroom cloud in effect where this is moving way too quickly, these fish. So you'll see like a big mushroom cloud where they're of silt, where they disturb the silt. And you can always tell the difference between when a carp's bubbling and when the silt's naturally releasing the gases. It's more of a fizzing that you'll get with carp, and sometimes it'll move, the fizzing, and that'll show you the direction that the carp are moving in as well sometimes. Typically when it's just the silt naturally releasing gases, it'll be in one small area and you won't get so many of the small white sort of fizzy bubbles. So that's another way. Oh, I don't know. Oh shit. That's the fish I'd love to catch. Very difficult. He looked like he kind of turned for that, but that's the fish that I want. Oh. Right, let's move. We'll move. Just 90% of the time I'll see them take. So there's no question as to when to strike. But sometimes when the fly tracks down through the water column, you lose sight of where the fish is. And then I have to sort of wait for some kind of a cue. So sometimes I'll just strike because I feel that I've got no option at that point just to see if something's on the end because I've lost sight of everything. Sometimes I'll wait to see some kind of reaction from the carp, like maybe the tail move if I can't see the mouth. So yeah, oh there we go. So sometimes I'll strike speculatively. Right, we've got a bunch of fish here, but these fish are not going to be easy here. Once again, it gets back to the speed with which fish are moving. They're quite slow. As soon as that fly lands, and the problem about these fish is they're just under the water column. They're moving so slowly. Come on. I mean, I probably could have put something floating on them, but I prefer when they're moving just a bit quicker. It's just that when they're moving that slow and they're that high in the surface, it's like it becomes a lot harder to get a decent presentation, because firstly you have to try and get the fly far enough away that it doesn't disturb them, but then because they're very high in the water column, by the time they do get there, the fly will have sunk. So it's one of the hardest. That's where sometimes a drag and drop's good. You cast ahead of them, but just drag it back pretty quickly. But here we're still here, so. But once again, there we go. Is he gonna see it? And nah, he came up to it and had a look. Very difficult to get a decent presentation here. All right, I think that fish did take, but it did look a bit suspicious. Hopefully we haven't foul hooked this fish. Yeah, we foul hooked it. I think it is. Yeah, fish shouldn't run like that. Came off, yeah, it's foul hooked. It shot to the fly and I struck. It may have taken the fly and just spat it out quickly, who knows, but yeah, I'm shaking. Right, onwards and upwards. So what we've identified now is, from walking around, sort of 1, 2, about 4 areas where we've got good concentrations of fish. So now we're just going to flip mostly between those. And what you'll notice on most venues that have carp is that they will have a preference sometimes for being in certain areas, sometimes at certain times of the day. So once you identify that, then it makes your job easier. So we're just doing the second lap of the lake, or the dock. We won't spend as long in this bit because they probably moved off. Shit, fish moving, going quickly though. So this bit here is quite shallow. You could actually step down here. Just need that one fish. He's moving just at that right pace. I know he's moved off it. He's not coming, he's not going to have it. It's just going to be so difficult to spot any fucking take down there. Right, they've spooked. They haven't spooked, but that would have been difficult to spot any fish taking. That I saw that fish take, so oof, oof. No. Right, we got a bit of a problem now. I'm gonna try and get it over all of this if I can, but that was a legit fish. All right, fuck, Patrick, fuck. This fish. Right, see that, nearly took a whole line. Just don't want this to come off now. I'm shitting my pants now. That was the chance. You see, they were in the edge, and just keep it low down because I know there are some snags here, and I don't want to get involved in those snags. Not now, not this fish. I want to get its head up. And this is a lesson, probably use a large arbor reel, not this kind of crap. Just want to steer it. There we go, I can see the leader now, so we're kind of semi-safe. So now I can afford to sort of cook off the power now a bit. Getting the net ready. My arm's aching already, fuck. And I'm gonna sort of cook off the power just a little bit because I don't want this to break, but I want to try and get him. It'd be nice if he would go into the open water, because then I can sort of tire him out that way. And this is the reason I use quite a strong rod, because if I had a 7 weight, I'd be struggling now. Right, I can't really get over that. Just do not want this hook to pull, because usually I'm playing them, they're going further out, but he wants to go, or she, and this is the most precious fish because this is on camera, so this is double the pressure now. And that's the thing, if you use a light rod here, you're just not going to steer them well. I have used a 7-weight rod, and with carp, when you're on these kind of venues, get the net in the water, because putting the water in when you're going to net them will very often spook them. So get that net in the water. But I am doing a bad job of this. Fuck. Come on. There we go. Oh, and it's always a scary thing when the line pings off carp like that. You think the hook's come out. All right, let's go. Let's go. And as they say, 90% of fish are lost at the net. At some point, hopefully he'll give up. Please come. I'm just going to put a lot of pressure on him, just to let him tire himself out, but we've got a lot of pressure on that leader now. And the hook holds, so I do not want to. And so for some reason he just wants to be down over in this corner. He's not coming out open water. And the main thing about carp is get the heads up. Get the head up. Right, he's ready soon. He's going to be ready. Please. Come on. Be good. And if you want to apply more steady pressure, and it's a bit difficult now because I've got all of this, the net collapsing on me, the pole, but you can sometimes walk back and rather than right, he's going to be ready soon. So sometimes you can walk back like this, especially if somebody else to net for you as well. It's useful doing that. Come on. Come on. And if I was by myself and there wasn't a camera, this would be enjoyable. But this is not at all. And another thing is, you know, you shouldn't really ever put your hand on the rod like that, because then in effect you're shortening the rod. And come on. Come on. He's starting to tire now, or she. Right, this is a lot better now. We got. Right, I'm going to really start to put the pressure on now, just to try and tire. And this is obviously the one thing about carp, the fight is phenomenal. Right, there we go. We just need to get that head up, sense that this fish is ready to come in, ready to come in, ready to come in. Come on, come on. Just want to get a bit more. Come on. Come on. Come on. Yes! Fly fishing in London, hey? Right, one thing to note is really important, that, you know, carp fishing, standard mainstream carp fishing is fish care. It's really important. I'm going to leave this fish in the net just to get a breather. It's been a hard fight. Water temperatures are high. So we're just going to let it get its breath. I do not like seeing people just take fish out of water, fart about, you know, let it have a breather with carp. With others, you know, if you're going to take photos, stuff like that, then yeah, let them have a breather. Because we're quite high up. I mean, if I was in a river low down, I would try and practice to keep fish wet principles, keep them in the water. Carp are quite hardy, so we can take them out of the water for a reasonable amount of time as long as we keep them wet. So number one, if you're going to come here, and this is relevant to people who aren't from the UK, care of carp is really important. If you were to step on a venue like this and put fish on the ground and another angler sees you, you're going to get some stiff words. So unhooking mat could probably even be bigger than this, and wet it. So wet the mat. The second thing I have is a collapsible water bucket. I've lost the string to it, but you know this, so if you're high up you can just drop it in. A really important tip as well with carp is make sure the pectoral fins are flat to the body when you lift them out of the water net. Sorry. So check that the pecs are flat, and the pec isn't like up that way, because you don't want to damage fish, the fins. So that's all good. We're going to lift it out. This is a very compact unhooking mat, so it's not prime, but I know how to handle these fish. So just fly out, make sure that's well away, and then every once in a while do that. So what we're going to do is Patrick's going to take some photos, so cover the eye, and that'll stop the fish sort of getting agitated. All right, so we've got a couple of photos here. I've kept my hand over the eye to keep the fish calm. We're going to put it in the net. Once again, checking the pecs of level. Just keep the fish low as well, just in case you slip up, and put the fish in. He's righted himself already. So there we go, watch. So we've been here for 2 hours. It's taken a lot of effort. As you can see, a lot of walking around. I don't know how many steps I've done, but that's a prime example of what you have to offer in London, you know, in similar cities, not just here in the UK, but worldwide. You have to take risks if you want to do this kind of fishing. You know, I came here on a hunch. A friend told me, you know, it has good populations of carp. The water is fairly clear. If you want to find places like this, so going on social media, networking with other anglers, looking at videos, going on maps. But yeah, at the end of the day, there's no substitution for actually getting yourself down fishing, taking risks, blanking, and you know, every once in a while you find a gem. So yeah, fly fishing in London, there's so much to do here if you're willing to actually put in the legwork. So brilliant, great morning.